you die? The worms comes and eats you?
You see, I said I am not bothered, I'm not worried.
So what happens?
And he now asks me what happens.
Exactly.
I don't give a... I don't care what happens. I just told you I don't...
One can use every single one of us to say that yes, it seems reasonable. How do you understand and differentiate between what is sensible and what is not sensible?
Okay. Common sense, yeah. Well, let me answer this question how I have answered this question 1,000 times when people like you ask me that question.
People like me and people...
Yes,
so
like
there's an element of already some kind of judgmental value.
Why do you feel I'm being judgmental?
People like you, that's what I said, people like you.
No,
people like you stereotyping, isn't it?
No. When I say people like you, I mean believers like you. You are a believer, are you not? Are you not a believer?
I'm a knower.
You're a believer, not a knower.
I'm telling you, I know God exists.
Exactly. You believe in the Holy Quran. And what happens is whenever I meet people like you, I don't know why you're offended like that, by that statement.
So he's answering the question about how he assesses between what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah, you asked me, and I answer the question.
Go ahead.
I won't answer it the way you want me to answer. I answer the way I answer.
Sensibly?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the thing is this, I've answered that question 1,000 times from people like you. And they always say to me the same thing. It is written in the Quran. And I say, the Quran doesn't mean anything to me.
What was my question I asked?
I'm getting there.
So get there. We don't want any kind of waffling beforehand. I asked a simple question. How do we differentiate between what makes sensible, what makes sense, and what doesn't? Because if I were to give you an answer, because I asked you a question, why does something exist rather than nothing? Why does the universe exist rather than absolute nothingness? You said, who knows? I said, what if I tell you I know? Then how would you be able to understand and accept my answer being correct and true? You need to be able to differentiate whether my answer is sensible, relevant, appropriate, and acceptable.
Okay, give me your answer. If it sounds... If it makes sense.
How would you differentiate my answer is appropriate, relevant, and acceptable?
I haven't heard your answer.
What criteria are you going to use to make sure my answer is correct?
My critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
My critical thinking.
What does critical thinking involve?
This guy will go on forever.
No.
Say something else.
What does critical thinking involve?
Tomorrow morning, when I say something, he'll pick a word out of what I said, and that's what you've been doing all the time.
What does critical thinking involve?
That's why you ask me about your education.
What does critical thinking involve?
No, the first thing is this.
What does critical thinking involve?
You're supposed to answer my question.
No, he's not going to answer it, is he?
Why should I answer each time I say something? Okay.
You said critical thinking. We want to know what critical thinking is. brother. I mean, just me. I'll protect you. I'll guard you. So now, what is critical thinking?
Okay, I guarantee you now, once I start to define critical thinking, he will pick a word in critical thinking and say, what is this? I will go on forever.
Let's see. Go ahead.
You understand?
Go ahead. What is critical thinking? No, that's fine. What is critical thinking?
Okay. Sorry for laughing, but
No, the thing is this. I'm tired.
Just take the shahada, man.
I'm tired. Because this guy is just, this. I thought I was a wind-up artist, but this guy is better than me.
So you winded us up?
No.
Have I said anything that is unreasonable?
This guy is a wind-up artist. You are. Every time I say something,
ask the people.
I'm asking you.
Have I said anything that is unreasonable? You get beaten up left, right, and center every
by who? Beaten up by who? Who are you? Beating me up who?
You don't understand even the language and physiology
and beating me up.
No, intellectually.
Never. Not me. Do you know who I am?
Mr. Flapper.
I'm an atheist. And
if I tell you why something exists rather than nothing, is something that we can understand by looking at what something is. Because if something exists now, if something exists today, there cannot be a time in the distant past where there was absolute nothingness, because absolute nothingness has no energy, no potential, no quanta, no fluctuation, no hadrons, leptons, and gluons. I'm sure you know some of these things. If you had, you're good, very good. So because of absence of everything means something that exists today could not come from nothingness. That means there has to be always something. Something has to exist always. Now here we have to now understand what that is then. If something exists always, there is no beginning of that something.
Correct,
That means that something that made our universe is self-aware, possessor of energy.
No.
Let me finish. Possessor of energy and will and knowledge. Because if that something that existed always didn't will and bring this universe through his power into existence, it will never happen. Just give you an example. Imagine you want to make tea at home, right? Tea. If you don't will to make tea, your teacup, your water, the milk and the tea and the sugar, they're not going to assemble by themselves, would they? They will remain in their places. When you will to happen, you open your fridge, bring the milk out. You turn the knob of your cooker, the heater goes on, it ignites, and now you have fire. Put the kettle on, but before that, get some water from the sink, turn it up, the water comes in. All of this assembly is required before tea is made. This universe, which is so organized in its incredible precision, harmony, and complexity, tells us that there is someone who has assembled all of this by will and by knowledge and by power. This evidentially then is a proof that there is a creator of our universe who is always there, and this creator by necessity has to be absolute, because no one brought this creator into existence. No one gave power to this creator, because the creator, this thing that exists always was in existence. That is why, my friend, why we see something here is because of a necessary being creator who had brought this into existence.
Let's clap for this young man, because he
he's a class. He needs a class.
This guy, this is what you call philosophical fantasy. The guy, first of all, it's okay. That's like me. I am, as I keep on saying, I'm an atheist, right? And I don't bother with what I don't know. It doesn't keep me up at night. I don't waste time. I'm not afraid of death or afterlife or all that bullshit.
Are you sure about that?
I am not.
What happens when you die? The worms come to eat you?
You see, I said I am not bothered. I'm not worried.
So what happens?
And he now asks me what happens.
Exactly.
I don't give a... I don't care what happens. I just told you I don't care.
And your heart is content with that?
You have to care.
Is your heart content when you don't even know what happens to you after death? You don't even know. Is your heart content? Do you feel peace and tranquility in your heart?
The difference between me and you. The difference between me and you. You're worried about what happens to you after you die.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care about what happens to me. I'll be dead.
So what? Everything's black?
You're already dead now.
No,
but it's true.
No. You see, the thing is this. I tell you.
Spiritually dead.
I don't believe in spirits. I keep on saying it all the time. I don't care what happens to me when I die. But you can't accept what I said.
Do you accept now why something exists rather than nothing?
No, forget that. That question is too philosophical.
Anyway, I think this is the end of conversation. We've given you enough for you. We have given you enough information to come to the conclusion that atheism is irrational. Atheism is irrational. We have just given you a demonstration why atheism is not a rational belief.
All living things die.